And welcome to the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report. I'm your host, Tom Clark, along with co-hosts Corey Carroll and Colton Jacobs, here to bring you weekly insight on all things NASCAR, with a review of past week's races and a preview of upcoming events on the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series schedule. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TCW Speed Report. Email your questions to tcwspeedreport@gmail.com. Check out the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report Facebook page. And a quick announcement, again, we are on iTunes and SoundCloud. And I would like to welcome my co-hosts for the evening, Corey Carroll and Colton Jacobs.
What's so funny, Tom?
I don't know.
Listen, I appreciate you welcoming me last week.
I did realize that I forgot to even mention that you were in Boston again.
Oh yeah,
in the harbor.
No,
I saw that picture. No. You're like, we're in the harbor.
Yeah. Well, at the time of the podcast was going on, I think I was driving over the George Washington Bridge into New Jersey, which was expensive. I like to thank the state of New Jersey for charging me $14 to drive through their state.
The state charges $1.25, Bishop.
It cost me $14.
Gosh. You guys have ever heard Toll Booth Willie? Adam Sandler? Does ring a bell?
No, but I'm looking it up.
Okay. It's pretty vulgar.
Oh, I like vulgar.
Anyway, the reason this intro went horribly wrong as it did, I thought I saw at the corner of my eye, Colton, you were laughing.
I was trying not to.
See? It's all your fault.
What were y'all even laughing about?
I don't know, because as I was going through the intro, I could see these shoulders convulsing over here.
Well, you started talking about the NASCAR officials falling down, like Atlanta and the one from New Hampshire.
I had to make up an excuse why.
I started thinking about it.
So, anyway, we are reviewing the Windows 10 400 at Pocono Raceway. I'll go ahead and take a look at this weekend. The truck winner, no surprise here, number 51 of Kyle Busch. Xfinity winner at Iowa Speedway. Quick shout out to our friend Kenny Wallace, the Herminator. Gave him a tweet. Hopefully he reads it. Making his final NASCAR start. Ryan Blaney getting some redemption from last week at Indy, winning the race there.
Yeah, things got pretty heated at the end of that race.
I heard.
It was...
a bunch of high schoolers fighting.
I know.
Kids that you never even, I've never heard of that guy before. Cornhuskers, that's what they are.
Well, it was, who was it? No, it was
Ryan Reed and Ross Chastain.
Ryan Reed and Ross Chastain, and they just got in each other's faces, acted all big, and then the reporter's bigger than they are.
I know.
Hey, what happened?
I know. And she wasn't very big.
Hey, what happened? That's good. We had our master of disaster, I guess, Kyle Busch starting on the pole on the weekend.
Master of disaster.
I thought I could come up with something cool there.
Hey, let me backtrack a second. I just want to say something about Iowa.
Okay.
That is a great track to watch. To watch a race on TV. I'm sure it's great in person, but it's a great track. It looks very. It doesn't look very smooth, is what I like about it. It looks very bumpy. But there are multiple grooves, and it's relatively short. I think it's everything that makes for good racing.
7/8 of a mile short track, not designed by Rusty Wallace, because he'd probably designed something terrible, but he did have some input in it that he wanted to make it what he thought Richmond should be, and that's the changes he made.
Well, bigger and bankier.
Yeah. Now, Colton is a fellow sim racer or former sim racer. Could you quit messing with your shorts down there?
It's just the drawstring.
I know. It's like sitting in the grass. You got to pick it off when you're sitting in it.
No, I'm not a former sim racer.
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am. Coming off of turn 2 at Iowa, doesn't it kind of going into 3? It seems like it's going downhill.
Yeah, a little bit. It seems like there's a little bit of a decline going into it.
So it is a very. I'm trying to back up Corey in that it's a very unique track.
Well, I tell you, the track that had that uphill, downhill characteristic to it. You know what I'm talking about?
North Wilkesboro.
That's right.
Because I downloaded it and raced it on in some sim races.
Yep. And
I never won there. I pretty much hated it. I see why they took it off the schedule.
There's a
No,
man.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about North Wilkesboro. There's a man named Paul Call.
Whoa. Paul Call?
Paul Call. Paul first name, Call last name.
Okay.
He maintains the grass and the shrubbery around North Wilkesboro just on his own accord because he lives near there.
Wow.
I found that out today.
So, quick shout out to Paul Call. Thank you for maintaining some racing history.
Yeah.
There you go.
Again, we move on to the Windows 10 400 at
Yep.
Pocono Raceway. Kyle Busch sitting on the pole. Green flag flew. Kyle Busch ended up leading the first 16 laps, and I think it was as early as lap 4 when Casey Kane spun off a 3 and had a terrible accident.
Yeah, he just got loose coming off a 3, and Jeb Burton spun in practice on Friday, it was on Saturday, and the tire marks were still there from where Jeb Burton, he spun in and he hit the inside wall in pit road. So he avoided the inside wall on the front stretch and he went down pit road and he ran into pit stall 42. So Jeff Burton, Steve Letarte, they made a big deal about that with the safety and all that. And they said, so we got to look at it. So lo and behold, right at the beginning of the race, Casey Kane comes in and basically follows Jeb Burton's tire tracks. But he's able to correct it just a little bit, right
Mm-hmm.
after the inside wall on the front stretch. And he gets sent down, I think he hit pit stall 38 and sent helmets flying.
Dang flying.
Yeah.
I just giggle a little bit that you were that specific about where the pit stalls were.
Yeah.
Well, that shows a lot if a car's able to hit pit stall 38 and come that far down pit road.
I don't know, Gray. Hits pit stall 38. We got to do something different.
Well, something's got to be different.
This is a world different than 36, all right?
But what
Get
if
the 38 truck out here.
What if it was under green flag pit stops?
Then people would die, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I'm serious.
I'm agreeing with you, but
That's why we got to do something about it.
Who snickered when I said people would die?
Tom.
no, because I looked at Colton for a reaction,
Listen.
and he started snickering. And
I tell you what, who gives a more awkward interview than Casey Kane?
No one.
Good Lord. Now, he needs to take some comm skills classes or something.
I mean, the car just
He was like, no,
hit the
did you see
wall.
it? Did you see the interview?
No, I'm just trying to do my best impression of any other interview I've seen.
Yeah, I was like, y'all better get out of the way. I was just,
He'll blink
Bad.
a lot, really big.
yeah, it's just,
I think he's still reveling in his good looks.
it's bad, just bad for the Aquafina team. The Aquafina team's been bad all year. Of course, this is the first time he's drove Aquafina on his car all year. Let's point that out.
You
Yeah.
had the
See?
facial expressions now too. You're like, you bit your lip. You're like, I don't know what to say. I mean, we suck.
And you can see how it just got awkwardly silent there for a second?
Yeah, if I was a reporter, I'd be like, okay, send it back up to you guys.
That's the ultimate one would be have Jeff Hammond interview Casey Kane.
So, Casey, what happened out there?
So just what happened? Could you?
Yeah.
Gosh, we keep
I
going
was
back to
just,
the.
turning the wheel and it just got loose and hit the wall.
That's pretty good. So move on after they did bring the red flag out, did they not?
Yeah, fix the pit wall.
Fix the pit wall. Now, seeing that I didn't wake up till later this afternoon, it was about lap 78 when I picked up the action, and I think they were going through some green flag pit stops. Ultimately, they were still playing the fuel mileage.
Tom, do you even like NASCAR?
Yes, I love NASCAR. Other factors have affected my desire for it right now.
Like the fact that they're racing at Indy and Pocono?
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, let's just do that later.
So basically we saw the pit strategies play out now. Steve Letarte did point out that a lot of guys were coming in banking on there was going to be a caution. And ultimately that it did work out.
Well, they had the competition caution at 15 because apparently there was some fluid laid down or something from the ARCA series. So I don't know. I didn't watch the race, but
He's talking out of his ass. Like,
I'm not. That's what they said. But Kyle did. He led. Like I said, the first 16 or so laps, and then it was kind of Joey and Kevin. They came up and they were battling up until about lap 78.
And speaking of Kevin, he blew his motor.
Yeah, he blew up. Him and Kurt Busch were actually battling for the lead, and Jeff Burton was saying there's no way they're going to take it too wide through the tunnel turn, and they took it too wide through the tunnel turn, and Kevin Harvick
immediately blew up.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick came out up front and then blew
That's
up.
what he gets.
Yeah, for taking it too wide. You don't take it too wide through the tunnel turn.
Jeff Burton speaks.
The mayor, that's what they call him at the booth. He's the mayor.
Well, they called him that when he was driving, too.
He's also extremely small compared to the other two guys. Yeah.
Tiny little fella. So, there, after a while, when I did pick up the race again, there was a series of, I think, 3 consecutive cautions after the restart. We saw Kurt Busch spin out going into turn 1. Paul Menard was a little bit of that. And it seemed like every restart after that, it was just a caution, one after the other. Which, in theory, when Steve and Jeff and everyone was talking about it, that would have bought some of those guys caution laps and change everyone's fuel strategy.
Yeah, and they kept talking about how they were playing the backwards, like the road course fuel.
They've been going backwards for quite a while now.
Yeah, because you had Sonoma, and then they do it at Indy and Pocono. But yeah, there was a lot of cautions there. I mean, Sam Hornish, he couldn't help but wreck and spin people out and get into people. He was involved in 2, and then one of those was Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting spun out.
In the Windows 10 Chevrolet.
Yep, he was in the Windows 10 Chevrolet. He was back in the pack because he was speeding on pit road during green flag pit stops. But Sam Hornish, he had a rough day. He couldn't stop. Him and Ricky Stenhouse, man, because he kept missing his shifts, and one restart, Hornish missed his shift, and he was kind of towards the front, and everybody was having to fan out. I mean, it was chaos.
Of course, Danica was the only person to hit him.
Yeah, yeah.
Going straight, no less.
Poor Danica probably thinks all NASCAR is a fun game of bumper cars.
Well, then Hornish locked up the transmission again going into turn 1, and the other half of Danica House or whatever.
Danica House.
Ricky.
Stenica.
Yeah, Stenica. Slammed into the back of him as hard as he could. I mean, it was bad. But
okay. So when we picked up the race, it was saw some of the a long green flag run to the point where they had to make their final 2 pit stops under green. Then we saw Logano, Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. slid through his pits. Now, I think that if he were to hit his pit stop on that last stop, he would have made up enough time on the track that he probably would have been a contender to win. But ultimately, we saw the guys in the booth just losing their heads of thinking no one's going to make it. Many crew chiefs and spotters were talking to their drivers, save fuel now, save fuel now. And it seemed like the closer Kyle Busch got up to Logano, when he got up into lap traffic, he couldn't help but want to chase him down. So I think that conserving fuel strategy just went out the window at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, Logano wasn't even close.
Yeah, he was like, what, 2 laps
he
two
ran
laps
out
short.
With 3 to go.
3 to go.
Yeah.
So he wiggled. I thought, what an amazing feat. Kyle Busch is going to win 4 consecutive races.
I had no illusions that he would do that.
Illusions?
Yeah, because him and Joey pitted on the same lap. There was no way that Kyle got 7 more miles of fuel out of his stop. I knew when I saw Joey run out with 2.5 to go, I knew Kyle was going to be the next lap. He made it farther than I thought he would.
Yeah.
But I knew he would run out. And I was surprised to see so many other people run out. I figured everybody else was saving a little better. I figured the first 2 cars just ran out because they were trying to stay either build on their lead or Kyle trying to catch Joey.
Yeah.
So I figured they would run out, but the whole top 10 ran out.
It's funny to see Rick Allen almost lost his head. Here comes Jake Logano. He's out of fuel, and then here comes Kyle, but he's out of fuel. Who's going to lead now? And
It was. I mean,
it was exciting in its own way, except for the king of personality, Matt Kenseth, winning the race.
Wisconsin's Matt Kenseth.
Wisconsin's gambling Matt Kenseth.
Did you see like when he got out of the car and pumped his fist? Everybody was just like kind of like, woo.
Yeah, it was the most quiet victory.
He probably just wants to like go sit in a chair and eat some crackers
and cheese
and cheddar cheese. Yeah. Just to hear the personality of Matt Kenseth, we'll take a listen to his post-race audio now.
And Matt Kenseth is finally going to visit Pocono Victory Lane for something other than a photo op with fans and friends and family. This will be for the win. Matt Kenseth hops out of the 20, having outlasted the field with a very fast race car. Can you believe you're in the victory lane?
We had a really fast Dollar General Camry today, and didn't get to show it all then, and I had real bad research, but I thought we had one of the best cars here, so just big thanks to everybody at TRD, everybody at Dollar General, DeWalt, and really everybody back at Joe Gibbs Racing, man. They've been giving us some bullets lately, and it feels good to get one today.
Matt, even after you told them you'd really saved, you were asked to save another 3/4 of a lap worth of fuel. How'd you do it?
I wanted to pass Jimmy. You just never know about those guys, and I knew that Chad didn't want me to pass him, so I wanted to pass him and get in front of him and then just control the gap. And once it started dropping behind me, Jason just told me to keep saving. We talked about it a little bit before the race, and just saved as much as we can. So again, I just need to thank all my partners, all our sponsors on this car, and everybody back at Joe Gibbs Racing. Glad to get one here at Pocono.
Matt, Jason and I talked about getting momentum for the chase. What does this mean for the 20 team?
Well, there's nothing like wins. We had a lot of wins in 2013, and we were pretty spoiled. And last year we had a big dry spell. This year we were able to win Bristol. And we've been up front a lot, so I'm just really, really thankful to be with these guys and to get the win. I never thought I'd ever win at Pocono, and I never, ever thought I'd win a fuel mileage race. So we did both today.
2 things off the bucket list for Matt Kenseth here at Pocono today, Rick.
So as we as we said before, it's good to see Matt Kenseth win. I don't think he kept saying that they've been fast here lately. They've been running good. Not really. Matt Kenseth doesn't come to mind as a guy that's been making gains. He has been finishing well, but come on, man. This was like he just walked into this one, as Matt Kenseth does, kind of just walks into it and like, hey guys, how you doing? Got some cheese?
Yeah.
So. But they're gonna lose their heads over Toyota. I am too, but Toyota and Joe Gibbs, making strides, and
they have one driver winning all of them.
Yeah, I mean it's not like Denny and Carl and Matt are out there,
sharing wins.
Yeah, I mean it's Kyle Busch is winning every week. That's what it is.
Which would have happened if he didn't run out of gas.
I don't know if Gibbs is improving as much as Hendrick is not performing. I think Hendrick not performing highlights how well Gibbs can run without Hendrick's competition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's Junior and Jimmy and Jeff and maybe not so much Casey, but up front amongst Matt and Denny sometimes, and here lately especially Kyle.
There's Stuart Haas in there.
Yeah,
But I think, which this is another controversy we'll get into. Someone pointed out each manufacturer has their team that is like their hub. You got Chevrolet, it's Hendrick. Ford, it's Penske. Toyota, it's Joe Gibbs. I think some of the, I don't know if this would be true, but you've got Stuart Haas Racing. That's a 4-car operation. Getting engines and some information from Hendrick Motorsports. I kind of feel that's kind of draining their ability to focus on themselves and to perform at a level that they're used to. Also, the king doesn't get to stay at the top forever. I'm not saying that I think from here on out Hendrick Motorsports is going to be in the dumpster in 5 years, but
yeah.
the The fact that 3 of their drivers are close to their 40s or above.
That's why I was kind of surprised when I was listening to the podcast last week about some of you guys' theories about Kyle Busch could be the next great champion. And I'm thinking, well, this is just a phase. I mean, I don't think he's going to do this for 10 years time, you know what I mean?
I think, I mean, to me, he'll have a stretch of, I mean, he's 30 now, 31, 32. I mean, statistically, now I don't have the stats, I don't have anything here to prove it, but since like the modern era, if you looked at the average age of the champions and when champions won or were on a hot streak, it was around 30 to 35. I have my own Tom Clark theory that between that age, I know my theories are conspiracy theories, but for some reason at that period of time, drivers are really on their game. Jimmy Johnson, between the ages of 30 and 35, 36, 4 or 5 in a row, and now it's kind of, he just won one in 2013. It's kind of been hit or miss since then. So even Darrell Waltrip, when he won in 81, 82, and 85, he was between that 30 and 35 age range. So I think Kyle Busch in these next 5 years maybe will be the best that we'll ever see him, and then it'll be... And by that time, hopefully Jimmy Johnson will retire.
Is Kyle Busch really going to be your favorite driver?
It's really, maybe that's why I've been depressed here lately, because just every day, it used to be every race, now it's every day, the fact that Jeff Gordon will not race is really starting to get to me. Like, don't make faces, I'm going to cry.
No.
Like, it sucks, because all my life I've had Jeff Gordon.
No, but are you using hyperbole, or like has that really been why you're been really sad? I
really don't know, but I'm just trying to find a reason. But I think that may have something to do with it.
I can see that.
I mean,
I already told Colton, I said, when Junior retires, I'm just going to bet on racing. That's how I'm going.
Yeah, like,
that's how I'm gonna
I don't know
enjoy
what to do, and I feel lost. I don't know who to pull for anymore. I don't know if I want to pull. Well, I have to get Bill's permission first. The thing of it is, these new cars, the way the downforce is, and the lack of horsepower. I don't know if Chase will be as good as Jeff, but he'll be in that 24 car, no doubt. But the thing of it is that we'll just have to see how Chase does. I mean, I'm really looking forward to him running at Darlington. Thanks, Bill. So yeah, like even Chase Elliott, like he doesn't. I just don't have the same. Like he doesn't have the same gravitational pull as Jeff does for me.
No,
Well, for Eric Jones, he's going to be in a Toyota.
I don't care about Eric Jones.
He's a fiery young kid. You can pull for him coming up. You said you want to pull for somebody that'll win. He's probably going to win.
But you can't just pick a driver and pull for him. It doesn't work like that. Like you have to just we pull for Junior because of where he's from and who his family is, and like it's just natural.
Yeah.
Like pick, like just saying draw it out of a hat and say, okay, I'm gonna pull for this driver from now on. You don't have the same passion for it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I may just. I'm gonna cry. I just don't know what to do. So anyway, let's move on here. We're gonna preview the Cheez-It 355 at Watkins Glen. They should have like a rat as a mascot.
Well, little Matt Kenseth face.
Eat cheese. Is that the sound a rat makes when he eats cheese?
I didn't listen to me, rats eat cheese.
Okay. I don't really have much of a preview other than it's going to be a few mileage race again.
I'm interested. I'm very interested in the fact that it's not Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. It's just the Cheez-It 355 in the title. They always.
Oh, it's always at the Glen.
Yeah, but it's not at the Glen.
Because they realized the Glen's not all that special a place.
For years, it was the Bud at the Glen. That's what I first remember it being.
Yeah.
And The Watkins Glen can be very treacherous racetrack. There's been a couple drivers lose their lives in crashes before safety innovations.
Yeah.
At Watkins Glen, most recently 1990, J.D. McDuffie. And we've seen time and time again drivers either lose their brakes or wheel hop going down in turn 1, which is the fastest straightaway, going 140, and just destroy their cars head on into the
Armco.
And we've seen a couple of the more terrible crashes I've ever seen in NASCAR have been at Watkins Glen. There was that one with Jeff Gordon coming down that last straightaway before you get to the back around to the start finish line.
The one that involved
Is it Ryan Newman?
David Ruderman
Mm-hmm.
and through the S's there. And
Yeah, and Greg Biffle and Boris said getting into it over that.
And
Yeah.
wasn't there one the other year with Ryan Newman too that was pretty bad?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
did you just pull that one out too?
I swear I'm just gonna shut up.
Okay, so let's going through the track. You got that big long straightaway down into turn 1.
Which is a right-hander, yeah.
It's a right-hander. It's a great braking zone because of the speed that you're carrying. You can really outbrake somebody going into that corner, and you'll see a lot of drivers trying to get what they can get on restarts there.
Yes.
Which proves very hairy at some points.
That, and it's also, I mean, overall throughout the race, if you've got a good car, that's going to be your first chance of trying to get somebody.
Right.
Come through that little straightaway. You go up through the S's, which the closer to the end of the race they get a little racy there, but that's a place I would not want to pass somebody.
No passing zone there, yeah.
Because you go right, and then back left again in an instant.
Yeah, and that's just it didn't work with Stewart and Gordon back in the day. It didn't work with Kozlowski and Busch a couple years ago.
Or Ambrose.
It's not going to work. I just wouldn't try it. I'd wait till I got to that next straightaway before you get to the bus stop
Yeah,
or whatever.
the bus stops that's where you dang pass.
You know, that's funny. Most people call it the bus stop. I call it the inner loop. I don't know why. I guess that's just the first thing I heard it called.
Just ask Daryl what he calls it. It's probably the weirdest thing.
The
chicane or something.
It's the
train station.
Yeah,
the train station.
The depot.
I call it the depot.
But that's a real. How would you describe it? It's like a big S as well. It's a right, and then an immediate straight, and then another left, back onto a big sweeping right-handed turn.
Banked, by the way.
Banked that leads to that straightaway where that one terrible wreck was a few years ago, and you carry a lot of speed there to another, not as long but still banked, but still not as banked as the previous turn, left-hander, before you turn back right to the start-finish line.
Usually that last right-hand corner, I think, a lot of guys try to pass there, but for some reason there's just never enough grip getting off that corner to get somebody. Then you're basically just starting all over again. Okay, I didn't get him here. I got to go try him down here. So a very fast road course. A lot more, I would say, damage to your car would be highlighted a lot better than it would be like at Sonoma. Not saying your aerodynamics would have to do anything here, but
Or they call it the super speedway of road courses.
something like that, yeah. So I believe it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, and I always love Watkins Glen. Personally, I always like the race better than the Sonoma race. I'm not saying Sonoma's bad. I mean, they're both pretty good races, but I always like Glen better because it's higher speeds.
Very nice. Very nice. We move on to our fantasy picks.
Oh, yeah, fantasy picks. Corey looked into a good day today.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Jeez.
Dillon Hart Jr. 4th. Tom finished 2nd today with Kyle Busch finishing 21st. And I was in last with Kevin Harvick, who blew up. But Corey still maintains the lead with 767 points. I'm in second with 648, and Tom's in third with 502. He's making some ground.
I'm getting past the halfway point of 1,000. So
Who's making some ground?
Tom's making a little bit of ground. He's not quite as far behind as he was.
He's much farther behind than he was. He's not as far behind you.
Yeah.
so anyway,
No. Okay. So, what is the standings though?
It's over here.
But I can't see it from that far away.
Here, maybe you need some glasses.
Maybe you need to shut up.
make the font bigger. Oh, jeez. 5, 7, 6. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm not too far behind.
It's just so confusing. Like, well, I mean, it's not confusing, but I'm saying like it's visually.
Now, I do want to propose this. When we get to the actual chase, do we reorganize?
No, because there's only 3 of us.
Well, you'd be seated first, of course.
Yeah.
My name would still be in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want your name to not be in the middle, Corey?
I'm just saying, I need to be at the bottom or the top.
I just have it like this because this is the way I have it listed in this order, and so I've just got it.
You push Colton's buttons.
Stop messing with the way things are. Don't make you pick.
Okay. I've been seeing a lot of speed out of him. I think he's hungry for another win. Going with Mr. Joey Logano.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't really think that. Well, I'm just going to stick with the man who's pretty much been running up front. I'm not gonna stray too far. I'm gonna go Kyle Busch.
I think you should pick Jeb Burton.
I'm gonna go with a ringer though.
There are no more ringers.
Yeah, I'm going with Allmendinger.
The road course king.
This is no, he's a ringer because he's not competitive on any other track. So let's not.
He's sort of fast. He finished.
He's sort of not fast.
That team has never been fast.
Well, here let's look at the standings. He finished 7th today.
That's because everyone else was running out of gas.
He was in the running top 20 all day.
That's
the
where he would
top
have finished.
20? I'm not picking a top 20 guy. I'm trying to pick
If this
a guy
was
who's
at
gonna
Bristol,
win.
yeah, he would have finished 20 to 25th or last.
I promise you, I will not pick Allmendinger any other track.
Okay, so that concludes our fantasy picks for this weekend. We go to our trivia round. Do you have any trivia questions for us? Ooh.
Weird. Let's see. Like, does somebody else want to read so I can answer?
Yes, I'll read it. I'll read it.
Okay.
You got to teach me how to read it. I mean, like,
Tom, if you can't read,
where am I going to find the answers?
Was that chair not comfortable anymore, Tom?
I want to be able to face the contestants.
okay. So you see right here, here's like multiple choice, right?
Yes,
And then you go to the first gray section, and it'll be the answers for the multiple choice.
I see.
And then you go past the gray section, and you'll have a true false, and the next gray section is the answers to true false.
Okay.
So we thought that maybe you could like ask a question to Colton, and then he try to answer it, and then ask a question to me, and I try to answer it.
Go back and forth, and then total up at the end. I guess maybe like 4 questions apiece, 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay. Well, all right. All right, Colton, you're up first.
Is this multiple choice?
This is multiple choice.
All right.
That doesn't mean it will be the same for Corey.
Ooh.
I already know the answer to this one, so I'm not going to have to look for the answer. In which year did Sunoco become the official fuel of NASCAR?
Do I get my choices?
A, 1993, B, 1999, C, 2004, D, 2010.
99.
You would be wrong. It was C, 2004, because Unical 76, along with R.J. Reynolds, left the sport in 2003.
All right.
Okay.
Did you know that one?
Mr. Carroll, we're going to pick a strong one for you here. I don't know. All right. True or false? NASCAR races often draw larger crowds than a Super Bowl, NBA Finals game, or World Series game.
False.
I'm going to have to check on that one here. Let's see. That's number 35. 35. It is actually true.
I see. I knew that one. I knew that one because you can get up to like 160-some thousand people.
Wait. Oh, sorry. I did the wrong. No, that's actually. I'm looking at the wrong page. Sorry. I don't even know what page I'm supposed to be on right. It's actually true. Okay. So 0, 1 for Corey. All right.
Yeah, he said false.
No, I said false. Did you mean like to attend the actual event?
NASCAR races often draw larger crowds than the Super Bowl, NBA Finals game, or World Series game.
Well, yeah, they're bigger facilities, but I thought you meant like viewership and stuff. So, there.
So no, 0 for both of you.
Goose eggs.
Both of you.
Okay, so we got to get this going. Colton, true or false? In October 1993, Harry Gant earned the nickname Mr. October after winning 4 consecutive races in 1 month.
False.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's correct. Harry
It was
Gant.
1991.
Yeah,
Yes,
91,
at the age of
yeah.
51, by the way. So 1 for okay. So you, another true or false question. Martin Truex Jr. won the inaugural race at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in what is now the NASCAR Nationwide Series. True or false?
False.
It's true. So far, Colton's number 1. I'm gonna ask you one more question. We got to get going here. True or false, Colton? Johnny Benson and Greg Biffle are the only 2 drivers going into the 2012 season to have ever won a championship in both the NASCAR Nationwide and NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
True.
Let's see here. Yes, that's correct. True. So 2 for Colton. Corey, all right, we got another one here for you.
Don't give me true false. Give me a fill in the blank or something.
All right. Oh, here's a good one. Our good old buddy DW. When Darrell Waltrip won his first championship in the NASCAR Premier Series in 1981, his number 11 Buick was sponsored by
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. That's correct. I don't even have to look for the answer to that one. So that gives you 1. Colton's 2. Colton wins this round.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a good one.
I don't know nothing about the Autodromo Rodriguez or whatever.
Hola, mi amo Tomas. Green-White-Checkered round.
All right, just for the green flag question.
Will Kyle Busch make it in the chase?
Well, he was in for a few minutes today, but then went back out. But no, we're just gonna go back to the way Hendrick Motorsports performed today. This has just kind of been a theme over the last month or so as Gibbs has been dominating. Should Hendrick Motorsports be concerned with the way they've been running week in and week out?
This is similar to a question I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Do I think they should be concerned? The actual teams?
Yeah.
No, I think last week it was whether the fans should be concerned. Yes, but should the actual employees at Hendrick Motorsports? No.
No. I think Hendrick's been pretty, I won't say dominant, but they've been very, very competitive since 80, whatever it was, when Jeffrey Bodine won at Martinsville.
85, I think.
Yeah. I mean, so 30 years they've been at the top of the sport. I don't think there's any chance of them becoming a second-tier team.
Yeah.
All right, white flag. We're going to go back talking about the wreck with Casey Kane, Jeb Burton, and it raised more questions about safety, and that's been kind of a theme this year. Is there do each one of the track owners, do they need to just go on ahead and take a long look at their whole track? Because it seems like the cars continue to find spots and hit where you wouldn't think they would.
I think ever since the recent onslaught of safety, I mean, it's pretty much been going on for almost a decade now. I think it's not a matter of what they should do, it's finding the money to do it. Now, if someone were to hit that wall and get seriously hurt, I'm sure the guys at Pocono would up the ante in getting that fixed. But I'm sure Pocono is aware of, well, we could probably take out that middle wall there with the scoring pylon or, what have you. But I think it just comes down to the available funds to to front those projects.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too safe. I think they need, I think they need to make the walls hard, and I think they need to run with glass in the cars and no helmets.
Very interesting. Why? Why do you say that?
No. Well, anything, just like Jeff Burton said, that safety is an unattainable goal. You always got to be working towards safety. That's going to be the first thing on the priority list in any NASCAR meeting should always be. Is safety.
Yeah. You'll never make racing 100% safe.
Yeah, I mean that's just that's the nature of the beast. But
that's really not all that's not helping any.
I mean, stuff like what happened in practice and in the race. I mean, the stuff like that brings about these questions, and that helps to get answers. And luckily, nobody was injured in either one of those incidences. But next time, there could be green flag pit stops going on, and
True.
Somebody could really get hurt. So they need to take care of that before the next race. And they always got to be working towards safety. Always, always, always.
Good insight.
I just want to point out real quick, when I mentioned green flag pit stops, everybody laughed and made jokes about people dying. And when Corey mentioned that, oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. True. I'm just going to bring that up. But the checker flag question.
Who gets the most respect on this podcast?
Yeah, so checkered flag question. Talk about the direction.
Is Colton butthurt?
I am, but that's not the question.
No, fine. Go ahead.
Let's just discuss what Michael Waltrip Racing is going to look like moving forward with the changes made this week.
Real quick, before you answer, Tom, could somebody fill me in on what the changes were, because I missed those?
It was announced. It's been flying through the rumor mill for quite some time, but it was just recently announced that Rob Kaufman, who is the business partner and basically the person that fronted the money for Michael Waltrip Racing from the get-go, has bought a interest in Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates. Now, he's not bought out Felix Sabates or bought out that team. He's just purchased a operating interest in that. The question is he leaving Michael Waltrip Racing? Is he staying there? Is he going to combine the teams together? Is he going to take somebody from Michael Waltrip Racing and merge it with that team? Those questions are still to be answered, and I don't think they'll be answered till later on this year. Now, Rob Kaufman did say earlier before the race that it would all depend on who gets into the chase. If they don't make the chase, it will go one way. If one does, it'll go another. That's all he lent his insight to. Now, what I feel what has happened is Rob Kaufman has taken what he has invested in Michael Waltrip Racing, taken that out and placed it into a different organization to see if it will grow. Basically like moving his money around. I think Michael Waltrip Racing will either be defunct or they will struggle in their final season in the series, starting with next year.
Okay, so I don't know, like Tom said, I don't know what will happen, but what I would do if I was Robert Kaufman and I had any interest in merging the two teams, instead of taking the MWR equipment and drivers and a crew and kind of putting them under the umbrella of Ganassi and making them Chevrolets. And I don't know if he even has this pull. I don't know how much of a stake he bought, but if he does, I think it would be in better interest to take the 42 and the 1 and bring them under the Toyota stable and build a bigger alliance with Toyota and JGR and share that way like Stewart Haas and Hendrick does, because as long as you're a Chevrolet, you're always going to be like the stepbrother, because Hendrick and Stewart Haas have such an alliance, and you're not going to be able to compete with them on a Chevrolet level. So I would say you'd have to bring the 1 and the 42 over to Toyota. and make that a bigger MWR operation instead of a bigger Chip Ganassi operation.
That's a very good observation. That would make more sense, and they've even talked to the guy that runs Toyota Racing North America, and he said it's basically the same thing that Michael Waltrip said, is our focus is on 2015 for right now. If anything comes about, that will come at a later date. There have been rumors flying through the garage area that Furniture Row Racing is going to be with Toyota, but the only problem I see with that is it's another independent team. They will still be under the umbrella of a bigger team, and to me, you can't just use one car as an experiment. You have to have multiple cars.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch anything with Furniture Row right now. I mean, they're competitive. I would just stay Chevrolet with Furniture Row.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is that Furniture Row receives no factory support from Chevrolet.
They get it out from Richard Childress.
They basically just a Richard Childress satellite team, but they themselves receive nothing from Chevrolet. No incentives, no anything. They're not recognized by Chevrolet as an official team, which I don't know.
But a good performance in the chase may change that.
True, but
and you were talking.
It sounds like Barney Visser is really wanting to make the jump from Chevrolet to something else.
And he may be, but you mentioned about whether, like, with Michael Waltrip Racing and Ganassi Racing, what it's going to look like on who makes the chase and stuff. Right now, McMurray's the only one that is really showing anything to make the chase, and he could very well. I
think what Rob Coffin was referring to is the MWR drivers.
Oh well, I mean,
if Clint makes it, then okay,
I just really don't. I don't know if he's going to make it. I just don't think he will.
The whole landscape is kind of real iffy right now. It's just.
I do agree with Corey though. If they're going to do any sort of merger, I would take Ganassi, make it like Waltrip Ganassi Racing or something, and be under Toyota, and they could roll a 3 or 4 car.
Because
team.
Ganassi as a whole, he's got cars. I think he races Fords in the sports car series. He races Hondas in the IndyCar series. So, or it could be Chevys. I don't know. So switching a manufacturer to me would not be a
huge deal.
Huge deal for Chip Ganassi. He actually ran Dodges before he merged with what was left of DEI. Of course, that unfortunately that is gone out of the system. It's not. There's nothing Earnhardt about that organization anymore.
No.
So, but I think overall the landscape in racing as a whole, auto racing is changing quite dramatically.
Yeah. There's a different feel about it, but
it's all the Democrats' fault.
I wish Dodge would come back.
Oh, we should start making this a conservative podcast and start talking about the election.
You don't even want to get me started on that because
I'm voting for Donald Trump.
It's not that. It's just that the same. You've already got me started. The people that are self-claimed liberal, left-wing, humanist, secularist, progressives sound just as bad as anybody that comes off of Fox News. I want to tell them, can you just listen to yourself for a minute? You are basically playing the same cards as these guys over here. Shut up and just do whatever.
Yeah, double standards.
I mean, hey, I got them too.
Put Rick Hendrick in charge of the country.
No.
He'll get it in shape.
No.
Yeah, well, I'll be driving Corvettes.
I
know. I'll be driving Corvettes, and we'll be putting Bunt the Rabel cologne all over ourselves.
Robert, yeah.
Bunt the Rabel.
I want at least 6 sterling silver trophies in my house when Rick Hendrick becomes president. 27 pounds of it, too, son. Made by Tiffany.
What you're talking about? Just like, why did you talk about panties last week for?
Because I don't know why, but something about Filipinos say, or
you just brought it up randomly. I was very thrown off by it.
Because Corey wasn't here. I tried to liven it up, make it fun, because I was sitting here thinking, oh gosh, another one with Colton.
God, I need to dang quit.
No, poor Colton's like if we were a family, Colton would be the mom driving the minivan.
Yeah.
I slaved over this dinner all day long.
Yeah.
You kids don't appreciate nothing.
Yeah.
I was kind of, what were you raising your eyebrows earlier for? I was like, that's not even funny. Like,
I just trying to creep you guys out for whoever.
you can't force it, Colton. You just gotta let it happen.
Yeah. You got to let the creepiness flow through you.
Yeah. And that concludes this edition of the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at TCW Speed Report. Email your questions to tcwspeedreport@gmail.com. Check out the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report Facebook page. And quick shout out to our official partners, Rao Brothers Painting in Hickory, North Carolina, the City Farm Project in Hickory, North Carolina. And a quick announcement that we are now available on iTunes and SoundCloud. This is your host, Tom Clark, signing out.